Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Delar and today I'm going to be looking at the Trees They Do Go High, which is a really cool English folk song, and this particular arrangement is by Martin Carthy. It's 1965 debut album, and I love this mainly because I'm so used to hearing Martin playing C, G, C, D, G, A. It's such a treat to actually hear him playing standard, and it's a relatively simple little arrangement, and I'm thinking that a lot of you guys will be able to pick it up and hopefully have a lot of fun with it. So we're going to have a look at that now. So he plays it in F sharp minor by playing in E minor chord shapes and scales and patterns and stuff, but having a capo on the second fret. It's just in case you haven't got a capo, I'm going to teach this without one. So we're going to be in E minor first of all. So the first pattern we're going to learn is this one. And this is the pattern that he uses in the verses. Now, because I'm classically trained, I tend to use this way of sort of teaching and learning. So the thumb is renamed to P. That's because it's Pulgar, or Latin for thumb, basically. So it's P. And then we're going to use our annular A, ring finger, for the E string, high E string. Medio, or middle finger, for the B string. And then indexigo, or index finger, for the G string. So if you always keep those fingers on those strings, you should find this pretty simple and easy. So try not to ever cross over and use the wrong fingers for the wrong strings. So the thumb is only going to play the E string and occasionally the D string. And then the index is going to play the G string, middle finger is going to play the B string, and ring finger is going to play the high E string. So the first pattern sounds like this. And we're in 12/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah? So the first part of that, the first three beats, are P, A, M. 1, 2, 3. P, A, M. P, A, M. P, A, M. The next thing we're going to do is go down to the D string with our thumb and play that. At the same time, we're going to play the ring finger on the E string. And then we're going to go M, I. So P, A, M, P, M, I. P, A, M, P, M, I. That's what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3. P, A, M, P, M, I. P, A, M, P, M, I. P, A, M, P, M, I. And once you kind of get the hang of that, just gently speed it up. 1, 2, 3. A little bit faster. A little bit faster. And eventually you'll get to the tempo that you need. Just don't rush it. Just take it slowly to begin with until you get really solid foundation of what you're meant to be doing. Now, to get the intro pattern, so that's the verse pattern we just did, we just add A, M, I. So that's ring finger, middle finger, index finger. So A, M, I twice at the end of that phrase. A, M, I, A, M, I, P, A, M, P, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I. So nice and slowly. 1, 2, 3. P, A, M, P, M, I. So just practice those two different ways of playing it. We've got this way, which is the intro, and then this way, which is the verse. So it's a good idea just switching between those two so you can really differentiate what you're doing. The next thing we're going to look at is just playing that over some different chords. So there's already some chords in this song which you probably already know. So probably the most obvious one would be the G major. So if you play G major, second finger on the 3rd fret E string, first finger on the 2nd fret A string, open D, open G, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret B string, little pinky on the 3rd fret E string, and then do the exact same pattern. So that's the verse. And the intro. You might know how to play D major, so 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret on the G, B and E string. Now for this, we're going to have to switch our bass thumb note to just the D string and then the G string. We were doing the E and the D, weren't we? But now we're going to go D to the G string. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, P, A, M, P, M, I. And then there's other chords in here, so you might recognise A major. This time the thumb is moving between the A string and the D string. 1, 2, 3. So it's always worth just kind of moving between different chords that you might already know and seeing what the picking pattern sounds like, both patterns, just so you can always practice both. It's another good thing to do is to learn chord scales. So lots of people learn scales, not many people bother learning chord scales. This particular song is in E Dorian. What that means basically is all the notes of a D major scale played from E. So basically if you go to the 2nd degree of the scale, so D, E, that's number 2, yeah, that's E, and then go up the scale to E, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, you'll get an E Dorian. If you're to build triads on all of those degrees of the scale, the E, the F sharp, the G, the A, the B, the C sharp, the D, you'd get a chord scale, so just using the root 3rd and 5th. So you'd get E, G, B, E minor, you'd get F sharp, A and C sharp, F sharp minor, you'd get G, B and D, which is G major, you'd get A, C sharp and E, which is an A major, you'd get a B, D and F sharp, which is a B minor, you'd get a C sharp, an E and a G, which is a bit harder to play on the guitar, which is a C sharp diminished, and then you get a D, an F sharp and an A, which is a D major. So it's worth kind of moving between all of those chords. That's E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp diminished, D major, and you're back round again. Because then you've learned every single possible chord you could play in E Dorian, in the diatonic sort of realm anyway. So that's always worth doing. So now we're going to look at just learning the form of the song. So basically we are moving between several chords. It's mainly E minor, B minor, A, G and D, and that's it. Occasionally he'll play an extension of a chord. So in the very first bar we've got E minor for one of the patterns. The next pattern he plays an minor 9, which is an E minor with an F sharp in it. So if you were to play an E minor chord and stick an F sharp in it, the F sharp is the second degree of the E Dorian scale. If you were to add an octave, so E plus another 7 notes would get you up to 8, and then one more note, so it's second degree, is an F sharp. That makes it a 9, an E minor 9. So we've got E, open E, then I've got my first finger on the second fret of the A string, and then I use my little pinky on the 4th fret of the D string to play the F sharp, and then everything else is open. Now he does, every now and again in the song, throughout the song, switch either between the index or the thumb, depending on what sort of movement he wants. So sometimes it's this, with the first finger, like we did in the start, and sometimes he switches that first finger out for another thumb. Can you hear the difference? So sometimes it's P, A, M, P, M, I, and sometimes it's P, A, M, P, M, P, just another P. Yeah. So we've got E minor, E minor 9, back to E minor, B minor, hold on to the B minor for another bar, so B minor, down to the A for a bar, down to the G, up to the D, down to the E minor, to the B minor, but this time play the intro pattern. Hold on to the B minor, down to the A, down to the E minor, intro, up to the G major intro, up to the D, down to the E minor, down to the B minor, and then intro over the E minor. So that's all of the chords, and I did rush through that, but the beautiful thing about YouTube is you can just scroll backwards and watch it again. If you wanted to learn those chords off by heart, so you're not just thinking, oh, is it E minor, or B minor, what's the next? Is it A? A good way of thinking about chords is not so much what the chord is, whether it's a minor 9, or, and 7 or whatever, but to think about its relationship to the tonic. So if E is regarded as the root, the 1 chord, then the B minor is the 5 chord. Yeah? E, F sharp, G, A. B is the 5. Yeah? So 1, 1, 1, 5. Hold on to the 5 chord. Then it goes down to the 4 chord, which is the A. Yeah? E, F sharp, G, A, B. Sorry, A, went past it. E, F sharp, G, A, 4 chord, yeah? Down to the A. Then it goes down to the 3 chord, E, F sharp, G. Up to the 7, the D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, sharp, D, 7, yeah, D. Down to the root, the 1, to the 5, down to the root. So instead of thinking, oh, B minor 7, or is it B minor, or is it E minor 9, you're just kind of going 1, 1, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 7, 1, 5, 5, 4, 1. It's a bit easier to remember, yeah? So that's one trick, is to remember just its relationship to the keys. You're just thinking 1, 5, 4, 3, etc. Another thing you can try to do is to try to play the arpeggios of each chord. So you can kind of hear that already in the pattern, and sing the root note. does, it realigns, or rather makes you think, oh, that note, na, is the root, da 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 da. Now you know that it's going to the 5, dum da da da, and you can start to pitch where these chord changes are. So instead of just thinking, oh, is it can't remember, is it a B minor, is it a A? You start thinking, oh no, I can hear it in my head, dum da 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 da. It's a 5, and then it goes down to a 4, and it goes down to a 3. And you can start hearing it. And at the end of the day, we're musicians, so we should be using our ears rather than trying to remember the phone book, or try to remember tab, or try to remember whatever someone on the internet has told you. Yeah, so there's lots of ways you can try to remember these chords, but the best way is to use your ears and to sing along, maybe just the tonic note of each chord while you're playing your picking pattern, and you'll start to really hear where those changes are and be able to hear and think at the same time what they might be. Are they a root? Are they a 5th? Are they a 4th? Are they a 3rd? Are they a 2nd? Are they a 7th? That sort of thing. It all adds up, and it makes you a much more rounded and sort of useful musician, because you're using your ears, and the ears are the most sort of useful thing you could ever use as a musician, not reading tab or reading scores. So there we have it, guys. There is a tab for this and a score, funny enough, down there, and there's also the wonderful Martin Carthy. So remember, if you want to play along with him, put the capo on the 2nd fret and run through the chords. Have fun, guys. Cheers.